Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at the Seals of Cthulhu, published by Thing 12 Games. This game here is going to be a two-player head-to-head game where you're going to be playing over 5 rounds to try to either play as the investigators or the cultists and either destroy the world or save the world. You can play this game pretty quickly, and you're going to probably want to play this game in sets, like best 2 out of 3, best 4 out of 5, or whatnot, because the game plays really quickly, and there is a ton of replayability in this game, as you're going to see when we go down to the table. So without further ado, let's go ahead down to the table here. I'm going to show you how to play the Seals of Cthulhu. Then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. All right, so we're going to look at the Seals of Cthulhu, and I just wanted to show the box first because this is one of my favorite boxes ever. It does look like a book, so it's going to look on the shelf. Really, really cool. And this sleeve here, which I'm not normally a fan of sleeves here, but this sleeve is awesome. It makes it look locked and you're unlocking it. In addition to this box has magnetic clasp on here, so that is amazing. It also comes with these really cool, like, thematic newspaper clippings and stuff to read, which I really, really like. It has an amazing rule book. This is really easy to read and follow through. And it comes with this pouch here. This box is just amazing. It looks like one of those cutouts. There's more newspaper clippings and stuff you get, so it's really thematic. But it looks like one of those safe box books. Just component quality for this game is through the roof. I really appreciate all the attention of detail they went into this game. It is phenomenal. And this little sack here that you can use to take the game with you anywhere you go, so you don't have to take the whole box, is really well made. I mean, this is really good fabric. I love the symbol in here too. It's really cool. This is a really, really nice game. So I just wanted to show that off to you first before we get into the bulk of the game here. So the game here is going to be a two-player game. And in this two-player game, you're trying to basically get the most points. You're going to give the cultist to one player, and you're going to give the investigators to the other. And you have this first player token out. So in this game, you're going to have 6 cards total. And we can have some of these ID cards, which will go in a little bit. But let me get this set up here so I can go over that part. All right, so you're going to have 7 different Elder Gods that you can use in this game. So there's going to be a ton of replayability just in that. And you're going to pick one of these that you're going to play in the game and then put the rest back in the box. It recommends that you actually play with Shoggoth for your first game here. And each of these is going to have different values. So this is going to be the different values, and this is the influence that they can be used for. So this value is going to be the points that you could score at the end of the game if you have this card in its face up. So you can notice that this can be 3 points, but you can go up to Yog Sloth, again, say these names properly, which is 4 points. Cthulhu here, which is going to be 6. So you can have different varying numbers here, and they all have their different powers. Now, the one thing about this game is, other than the art is really awesome, especially if you're a Cthulhu fan. So again, the component quality and art and card quality is amazing on these. These cards are awesome. These cards here are very easy to read. The abilities that they have down here are just really well written and very straightforward. So you're going to pick your first Elder God that you're going to play. You're going to give 1/2 to each player. So the investigators get this one, and the cultists get this one. The rest of these guys, all 7 of them, will go back into the box for now. And you can use them in later games to play. Now you can actually add more of these if you wish to your game here. It'll lengthen it. Because if you add more of them, then you're going to go one. Basically, when you play, you have these 6 cards. We're going to shuffle them up in a second. But we're going to play all but one. One card of my hand will not be played. So I'll have these cards on my hand. I'll have these available. Actually, don't need to shuffle them up, but I'll have them available. And all but one will be played. And the same with my opponent. All right, so how do we play the game? Well, we play the game, we're going to first pick the first player. And the way we're going to do that is whoever encountered a nightmarish horror that left them gibbering and unable to form a thought will go first. Otherwise, you could just randomly pick who did it. And they'll get the first player token here. And I will say that if the easiest way to do this is there's one side that looks like a cultist and one side that doesn't, I would say just flip this coin, and whatever side it ends on is the person that goes first. So let's say it ended on the cultist side here. What do you do on your turn? Well, you're going to look through your hand. And the goal that you're trying to do is you're trying to match this card on your side of the table with the opponent's version of the card. So just as an example, if I had, which isn't in the game, both sides of this on my side, I can use its ability, which is down here. And if I use the ability, I will turn it to its side to show that I use that ability for my turn. I can only use this ability once per turn, so I can show that I did it on my turn, then I come back and I can do it again, and so on and so forth. But that's the goal. So I'm going to take a look and I'm going to see what cards that I want to get. There's a couple things I want to pay attention to on these cards. One is the value that they're going to be worth at the end of the game. And the other one's going to be this influence here. So I can actually use this later on, I can show you, to try to gain control of a card. So I'm going to pick a card. It's first turn, place it face down. Now, what I can do is I can then pick if I want to put 0 to however many number of tokens that I have on this card as my bid. So you can bid 0, and that way the opponent would have to start the bid, but I'll place 1 on here. And sometimes not placing any is a valid strategy. So I placed 1 in here. So this opponent has a choice. The investigators can choose to either beat my bid, or they can take the token off of here, and then this player would get the card and place it face up. So let's say I decide to beat the bid. So I can put my 2 on there. Now this goes back to the cultist player. The cultist player can now decide whether they want to beat my bid, so they had to put 2 more on there, or they can take these tokens, which is what they're going to do, and this card goes to me. Now it comes to my turn. I'm going to take a look at my hand, and I'm going to put down a card here. So I lost a token on there. I might be like, you know what, the potion is a really cool card, and I'll show you why it's cool. And I'll be like, you know what, I really want this potion, but I only have 2 tokens left. So you know what, I'm going to put both of them on there. All right, so it comes to the opponent's turn. They're like, I'm just going to take these. So now I get this potion, and the potion is the only card in the game that doesn't need to be doubled up. And if I want to use this card, I would basically flip this one face down to flip another card that I control face up. So that could be very useful in the future, but I'll place it here. So that's done. Now this person takes their turn, and they're going to put down this. They're going to take down, they're looking good, so they're going to put down their 5, and they'll put 1 on it. And now I'm going to have to take this, and they get this, and it goes into their area. So they got a gate. So now it's coming down to my turn, and I'm going to put this one down here, and I'm not going to put anything on there. So the opponent has to start the bidding. They're going to put 1 on it. I'm going to go ahead and take this. So I start building back up my room, and I just gave them the gate. Now, as an example, on their turn, this gate here says if you control a face up, if you control both face up, you may flip 1 face down. If you do, flip another face down, card face up. So that's pretty cool. You could do some really cool combos in this game. Like here's the gate closure. If you control both face up, you may flip 1 face down. If you do, flip another face up card face down, which is really cool. Journal here, if you control both face up, you may swap 1 face up card you control with 1 from your hand. That one is incredibly powerful. And then you also have Necromonicon, I can't talk. If you control both cards face up, you may swap 1 face down card you control with 1 from your hand, which is really cool. And this was the Elder God that we had in the game. If you control both face up, you may flip 1 face down, then flip 1 face up card an opponent controls face down, which is really cool. And then you have all these other Elder Gods you have in here. So you're going to do these combos. You're going to get these cards out That's going to be the gist of how you're going to do it. You're basically going to put a card out. You're going to put a bid on it, whether it's 0 or whatever number you want. The opponent's going to pick whether they're going to exceed your bid or take those tokens and give you the card. And you're going to start building up your tableau there. And once we get to the end of the game, so you'll play your 5th card. The last card won't be played. After that's done, both players have played their 5th cards. You're going to tally up your points. You're going to simply tally up the point value on the top of these cards. Now, one thing I need to backtrack a little bit. One thing I could do. So I place this card down, right? I really, really want this card. So I put 2 on here. My opponent's like, ha 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 ha. They're going to put 3 on here. Well, I can burn a card and remove it from the game. I can use this card here for the value here to add, in this case, 5 to that to guarantee it, or burn my potion to do that, and that's removed. But I will beat that, and then the opponent will have to take these, and I will get my card. So that is also a valid strategy in the game, an incredibly important thing that I did forget to mention in the game itself. So what happens if you tie? If both players have equal control value, the winner is declared by first the player with the most influence markers, which are going to be these little guys right here. The player with the most face-up cards. The player with the most face-up cards in their faction, so either cultist or investigators. But if you're still tied after that, you both lose. So there is no both winning thing in this. If you're the cultist, the elder god devours you for being incompetent. And if you're the investigators, you're fired for being incompetent. So it has a little bit more strongly worded thing on the end of the book for that. But basically, there is no ties for this game. I do find this game is really best to play like best 2 out of 3 sort of thing. So you play several different rounds of the game itself. Now, another thing you could add, which I add in all the time, is you can use these ID cards here. And these ID cards, you have 4 cultists and you have 4 for the investigators. And you could either randomly give them out or let them pick or whatever you want to do. They're going to give you powers here. So this one has use media ties to gather information on others. The Golden Dawn knows what others do not know. So this has this ability down here. Once per game, you may force an opponent to turn their bid face up during the bidding phase, which is really cool. You have 4 of these for the cultists, and then you have 4 of these for the investigators. Like here's Alex Smith, learning some of the secrets of the cultists that has allowed Alex to use their mystic arts to try to save humanity. If you control face-up cards equal to 13 control points at the end of your turn, you immediately win. So that's really cool. Now I'll flip through these, and you could actually pause the video if you want to read any of these. But like I said, these are really cool. And I would say after your first game, you just always play with these. Because they add another dimension to it, and it's awesome. Another thing that's important for this game too is you can add more of these elder gods in if you want. I would suggest just going through and playing a game, at least one game with each of these, and then you can decide whether you want 2 or 3 elder gods in there. Just remember, you're going to play all but 1 card by the end of the game, and the more elder gods you add to the game, the length increases. But this game is a pretty quick game. It plays very quickly. That's why I recommend doing like multiple different rounds of it, or just play through a night, and whenever you stop the person that won the most will win. Again, the rule book was really well done for this. Here's an explanation of all the elder gods in the back here, and all the investigator cards and cultist cards here, the ID cards that you can use. But I will say this is one of the games that I haven't had to go back to the rule book too much, because everything is incredibly well explained on these cards themselves. So let's go ahead back up the table here, and I'll give you my final thoughts on the Seals of Cthulhu. All right, so that was the Seals of Cthulhu by Thing 12 Games. Component quality, oh my gosh, it's just amazing. You couldn't even have done it better than they've done for this game. Card quality, phenomenal. This game's going to play through many games without wearing down. Really great component quality on that, just through the roof. hats off to them. They really knocked it out of the park. Gameplay for this game, I don't like micro games, really. However, I really like this game. This game, I like Battle Line and I like Shot and Totten, which is effectively the same game. I like Air, Land, and Sea up there. Critters at War is the version that I like of that one a lot. Another head-to-head game, very small game. Those are examples of games I like. And this game is different because it has this two-player bidding, and there's not a lot of games out there that can do two-player bidding well. Japor is one of them, but that doesn't really happen. I really like the bluffing, double bluffing thing. I really like the fact that you have the 6 cards. You're only going to be able to play 5. You're trying to match these up. You're trying to trick your opponent. There is so many layers in this game that it is insane. This game is a lot of fun. And it's not just like where you have the same set of cards each time, or you have the same deck of cards and you shuffle them up, and you may or may not get some of the cards that are in the deck like you do with Critters at War or Air, Land, and Sea. This game here, you're going to have a ton of replayability based on the Elder Gods, which comes with 7 on there. So you have 7 completely different games that you can play inside this one box here. And there's just in like playing with one of them, there's tons of replayability on there until you like try to, maximize understanding of those Elder Gods. You can go through and you can do all 7, and then you're not even done after that. You can add more to the game if you wanted. So you can have 2 Elder Gods, which adds another dimension to the game. You can add those ID cards, which add another, there's 4 of those, and they interact differently, and when you fire them off. And so you have 7 different Elder Gods, you have 4 different Elder identities per player. Just so much replayability in this small game that it's insane. The only time I've ever seen someone do so well with so few cards is going to be a lot of the button shy games that I like. They did phenomenal with this. Thing 12 Games, this is a great game. You did a great job. And I don't say it very often, but this game is 100% going in my collection. Not a lot of games make it into my collection, but this is going to be one of them that does. Really like this game. So if you're looking at a game that you can play 2-player, that's a lot of fun, really quick. You can play at the end of the night, or you can play when you're out and about, because you have that little, just like all the little attention to detail they had in this game is just insane. Like, they have this really nice box. However, they realize that you probably don't want to carry around this box for a micro game all the time. So they get you this really nice cloth pouch there to hold everything in, make it highly portable. Just the love that went into this game is insane. Now, if you don't like Cthulhu, this game is definitely probably not going to be for you, because the Cthulhu art is front and center, but if you're okay with the Cthulhu, or you really love the Cthulhu, I would really highly recommend checking this game out. And that's my thoughts on the Seal of Cthulhu. So we'd like to ask if you like our videos, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out a lot. It really helps us make more of these videos, helps us get better equipment, helps us just all around. But either way, I hope you all have a great day, and thank you for watching.